Peace and love. I guess we're live. I wish you had told me that, but peace and love, everybody. I am your girl, Lyric, and I'm here with my two lovely co hosts tonight. I have with me Sarita. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey girl, hey, how you doing tonight?
Oh, girl, it's been a day. We got a guest host, Mimi. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey girl, hey.
So, guys, tonight we're going to be talking about self love, something that people think that should be some of the easiest shit ever because it's dealing with yourself. But sometimes the hardest thing to actually do is deal with yourself. So, let's talk about it, girls. And I'm going to take myself off the screen because y'all seen this face. But I'm faking the funk for real because I'm a bit tired. I'm really tired. I've only been up 2 hours, so I'm gonna just come up this screen because I ain't got time to use fake smiling for y'all tonight. I ain't even finna try. And that's a part of self love, knowing when when to back down. And this is one of the.
Okay, well, looks like we lost her for a second, but okay, there she is. She's back.
I'm back. I'm back. I'm back.
All right.
Okay, here we go. There we go. It's great. But so yeah, we're talking about self love tonight. Well, first of all, let me ask y'all how was your day, Mimi? I didn't ask y'all your day was. Let me not be rude.
My day was very busy and a little hectic and but yesterday, which was my day off, I did actually do some self-love when I went and got a tattoo. So I was really happy about that. That was part of my self-love routine, Wednesday.
Well, what did you get?
Ooh, I want tattoo.
Yeah, I just um, I got I just got some Egyptian work done on it and made it kind of look really pretty with some hearts. Girl, I had to get it on my chest.
I'm trying to get Anubis on my chest. That's what I'm doing. That's my next
Yeah,
tattoo.
I love it. Yeah. And then I just feel like that's part of, I don't know why, but that's just where my journey is right now. It's like it's time to make some changes, some alterations, let old things go and invite new things. So getting a tattoo was kind of like inviting new into my life.
I can definitely dig that because that's all about self love, knowing when to let go. Is what's that song? Know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away.
Yeah.
That's definitely a part of self love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It isn't easy always choosing yourself over other people because we're programmed. We are basically programmed as at young age to be selfless and to do for others and to not be selfish in any kind of way. And we
Right.
get taught what self-love really is. And so it really is, you choosing yourself above toxicity. You know what I mean? Not just choosing yourself above people. It's not about being self-centered, but just knowing when it's time to go. Like, okay, it's time for me to protect my energy, protect
Okay.
myself.
But you know what? Even as like it doesn't even have to be choosing yourself over things that are bad. Like
Hmm.
as a single mother of four boys, I forget to take care of me because I'm taking care of them all the time. So sometimes it's just about remembering yourself,
Hmm.
remembering that, before you were a mother, before you were a wife, you had yourself and you still need to get back to that. So sometimes self-love is it's definitely, getting away from toxic things or things that are not healthy for you or bad for you, or, removing yourself, learning how to say no. But it's also sometimes remembering that you are an individual that needs attention. You're not just a mother. You're not just an employee. You're not just a daughter. You have to be able to take care of yourself. So for me, sometimes it's just getting away, getting a hotel room and sleeping in because I can't do that as a mom at home. You know,
Right.
they're constantly in my room and that's what they're supposed to do. I'm the person they're supposed to come to. But every
Right.
so often I need a break. I need a break. I need to get back to myself. I need to be able to sleep in. I need to be able to eat food that I don't have to share. I need,
Mhm.
I need to be
That
able to watch a movie without somebody asking me a
Right. You
thousand
see that.
questions.
You don't
I
get it.
need to get back to
You
being
see that.
a better version of me so I can be a better mother to them. So
that's right.
sometimes, self-love is just taking time out from your busy schedule to acknowledge that, what, I need rest, I need to be catered to, I need to be taken care of, even if it's you doing it for yourself.
Yeah, totally. Mhm.
That is the truth, though.
Yes, that is true.
It is true, but it's not always so easy. Like, Mimi was saying, when you've been so selfless, when you've been so selfless in everything that you do, because that is something we are reared to do. We are taught to serve others, basically. But we were never taught to like serve ourselves. So when we grow up, and then we're going through these growing pains, and we're living and we're learning about relationships on whatever spectrum of the board the relationship is, we don't know how it's almost hard. Well, I'm gonna speak for myself. I know for me, it's hard to be selfless or selfish because
Well,
I'm most
I'm
selfless.
sorry, go ahead. I think that not only are we taught to be selfless, but we're taught that it's bad to be selfish. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So internally it's like a trigger for us when we feel bad when we do for ourselves. We feel bad when we take time out to do something. We feel bad about saying no. We feel guilty for taking small pleasures because we have been programmed to not just be selfless, but that being selfish, which is really not being selfish, is just looking out for yourself sometimes, is wrong. So we feel like we have to
Mhm.
hide it or not do it at all. You ever tell somebody no and know that you really can't do it, but you feel so bad? You feel
Right.
guilty because you told them no.
All the time.
See,
I definitely used to before I went on my healing journey. Now I say no and I don't give a damn. I don't care how you feel.
I'm still a work in progress. Like I have
Mhm.
to learn how to listen to people's issues without taking them on for myself. Like that's
Mhm.
not your problem, Sarita. Walk away from that, Sarita. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to just listen and be a
Mhm.
sounding board for them. But it doesn't mean take over the situation. I feel bad when people tell me they need stuff and I don't say anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially when I'm in a position where I could help. But it's just like, dang, I'm always saying yes. And especially when you are the person that everybody comes to, but there's no one for you to really go to. You know what I'm saying? But you think that's
Oh
okay.
my goodness.
Mhm.
But no.
That's
So
not
Yeah.
I
like
mean,
I had to when I went in this, I had to realize like um with the self love, you have to take time out to learn how to like love yourself, like relearn. You got to learn you, like you learning you from scratch because you put everything in everybody else. So now you got to take all that back and then build yourself back up. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
so you can see a whole different view of it. I'm sorry, girl, my baby is like beating me up right now. This is another thing. I don't get enough time alone.
Okay, I definitely understand that. You ain't gotta hey, my boys don't believe in no privacy for their mother. So I understand.
I
I
don't think
definitely
kids
understand.
do. I don't think kids know that what that is.
No, because you're mom and you don't ever
Even
stop
if
being mom to
right, but
them.
even if you explain it, they're still like, okay, but so, and it's like, look here, get out my face.
You
But it
know
is
what?
very important that we do exercise self love because it is the best love. It also teaches other people how to give you love.
Right.
It is the boundary because, dang, if she can love herself like that, then I can't just come to her half stepping like this. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely vital that self love is practiced every day. You need to take some time out for yourself every day. And we're talking to somebody who is really just starting this journey because all I know how to do is be selfless. Like I feel some kind of way when I'm not doing something for others and trying to get out of that mode. It's hard as fuck.
It
It's
is.
really hard as fuck. And
Yeah.
I'm like, well, how's this supposed to work?
Yeah.
You start to learn as you get on this journey, you start to learn about boundaries. And when you learn about boundaries and you got your boundaries up, people usually just follow suit. You don't really have to do too much. Your energy just changes. Like people like used to call me for everything, but when I started really practicing self-love, folks don't call me much. You know what I mean? Because they already know it's probably gonna be no. Because really, you get in trouble for more your yeses than you do your nos. If you ever look back and think about, dang, if I wouldn't have said yes to so and so, I wouldn't have went to that bar that night and this happened.
Ooh, don't get me started.
Yep.
Mm,
Right. That
So
is
I
so
didn't.
you'll get to that lyric as your boundaries start to increase. Then you won't even, girl, they won't even call you for a hot plate no more. They be like, you know what? If we do call, we're gonna pay Lyric some money instead of trying to use her energy. You know what I mean? Because they'll know that you love yourself and that you have boundaries and that you don't play that. I'm
Right.
telling you, when you start practicing, people don't understand. When you change that, people change how they approach you, how they speak to you, how they come in too, how they come at you, because they can
Right.
smell it. They can tell when you don't love yourself.
Look, let me tell you something. You should know that lyric. The minute that you stop being available to them, that's when they want to chase you. They're
Yes,
so
ma'am.
used to being able to put you off because they know that you're going to be sitting there waiting because that's what you've taught them. Do me any kind of way, I'll be here. So the moment that you're like, I'm good, I got something else to do. We good. Next thing you know, they want to know what you doing. Where you at? Can I come
Mhm.
see you? Let me talk. So it's the same. It's the same. Like once you start valuing yourself and being like, I ain't sitting around for this. Once you begin to recognize that you could do bad all by yourself, that you don't need someone to love you because you love you. You know what I'm saying? Like I think
that is so
that
true.
as humans, we crave companionship naturally. That's just a natural thing. But when it's at the detriment of your happiness,
And your
of
mental health. Hello?
your mental health or your health period, then
Yeah.
there's an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like because you're telling them that they're more valuable to you than you are. And if you don't see your value,
Why should they?
they're not going to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And self-love is all about, realizing your value and that you're worthy, of being treated well, even if that means treating, yourself well, because we ignore ourselves so much.
So much. Oh God.
We ignore
Yeah.
ourselves so
Oh,
much.
absolutely. I mean, we definitely do. Us women, we ignore red flags. We ignore, things our mama said. We ignore everything, things our kids do. You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you
And
something. We are such nurturers that we will remind everyone else to go to the doctor and then don't go ourselves. We'll make
yeah,
sure everybody go get checkup. Everybody
next,
go to the
yeah.
dentist. Everybody eating healthy, but don't do it for ourselves. We don't have
And
time. We don't
And you
have
know what I
time.
had
We're
to
too busy.
realize too is that nobody no, and there's people who are never going to even act like they want to do it for you. I mean, I people will sit there and watch you struggle. Like when I had my
Hmm.
baby and with my ex-husband, well, I was barely eating. You know what I'm saying? Like I was barely eating because I was so busy taking care of the baby. He didn't care. He ain't gonna fix me no plate. People will
Hmm.
not take care of you. They will allow you to take care of them. They'll let you kill yourself taking care of them. But I promise you, they'll practice being selfish over you anytime.
Listen, my
So,
last relationship taught me that he would
hmm
go out of his way and make shit happen when he needed to make it happen. But
yeah,
as long as I was making it happen, he didn't have any reason to do anything. And so if I ever said, well, I can't do this or I fall
hmm
short, he was like, oh, well, I got it. Then it started making you think, well, you had it all this time. Why would you watch me struggle and juggle shit around to to make stuff happen and you had the ability to make it happen? because you always made it happen. They could use their resources and put their time and attention into what they wanted to and let you handle all the hard work. And now you looking ragged and tired and mess up your credit and did all this other stuff when they could have did it on their set. So it's all about, I think self-love is really recognizing that you have value.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
recognizing that you matter. Because when you
Yes.
don't have self-love, when you don't practice self-love, it's
Mm-hmm.
because you don't think that you're worthy.
Yes.
that's true.
And it's
And the
also
minute you say that you're worthy and you start
mhm.
stepping up and making people respect your boundaries, oh, you change. Oh, you acting
Yeah.
funny.
And it's also self-awareness, knowing who you
Right.
are. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Knowing yourself, like to it
Knowing
where
your
people
own
can't even tell
power.
you,
Yeah,
they can't tell you about you because you know
Right.
you from a soul level. Like that's self-love. A lot of people don't even know themselves. They can't even sit in the mirror and look at themselves and have a conversation. They're too busy out there giving everything to the outer world. You know what I mean? Instead of
Right.
self love is you going inward and sitting in front of that mirror and talking to yourself until you get your shit, excuse my language, get your stuff together.
that's
Doing the
true.
work.
Michael Jackson said it best. I'm talking to the man in the mirror. He's the only
Right.
one who can make the change.
That's
You know what
fair.
I'm saying?
Absolutely.
A lot of people be
That's
like, oh, I'm
true.
gonna talk to my girlfriend, talk to my that ain't self-love, girl. That's giving too much. Why your girlfriend need to know your business? You know what I'm saying?
You know.
So there's those are the things I had to learn on this journey. And it's an everyday learning process. And there's so
Right.
many women out here who they don't even understand what none of this is. You know, they're so taught to be submissive. I know for me, I was taught that way, you know, to be, and the submissive isn't a bad, but just to just like be docile to a lot of things, oblivious as a woman.
You right. I keep telling people that submissive doesn't mean stupid.
Yeah.
And 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 submissive is a gift. Being
Mhm.
submissive to
It's,
anybody is a gift. It's and the person that's being submissive holds the power because they can choose at any time to not be submissive.
Right.
So to think that I'm supposed to just take mistreatment and all that in the name of being submissive is fucking crazy to me, because there's no way I'm going to choose. If I'm submissive to anybody, it's a choice I made. That means that I trust them to lead me in the right way. But if I can't
right,
trust you, I'm not going to be submissive to you. If I can't trust you, if I still got to take care of all the other shit and you just want me to be submissive because you want somebody to boss around, then that ain't it. Being submissive means that I respect you enough to trust you to make decisions that benefits the family. If I can't trust you, I can't submit to you.
right. Because this is
You
my
know.
life we're talking about here.
Yeah. People want men and women. I mean, there's women out there that want, submissive partners as well. But people want a submissive partner and they don't know what it means to lead. I'm not going to be submissive to you and you can't lead. And I don't mean lead in a way like, oh, I agree with everything you say. Being submissive doesn't mean I don't have an opinion. It doesn't mean that I don't, have value, that
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 my
my
word
thought
doesn't have no weight. Yeah.
right. It doesn't mean that. That's just like your man is the head of the household. That's true, but he's not going to make household decisions for real without talking to you at least.
Right,
Without giving you a heads up. You're not finding it out on the fly. You find it out because he's discussed it with you before he's announced his decision. It's about respect. But if you
self
don't have any self-esteem, self-value, self-worth in place,
respect. Yeah,
you will let that kind of situation run all over you.
that is so true.
Run all over you. I would love to be in a relationship with a man that I can trust to lead me, to make decisions for us, to guide me, to teach me, to lead our family. I would love that, as long as I don't feel devalued and
That
less
part.
than.
That's the part, the devaluing and the less
So,
than.
I think that again, you only find yourself in those situations when you don't love yourself and you don't value yourself. And it's just a lot of people walking around that it's not that they don't know what they're it's not that they don't value themselves. They don't know how to value themselves. They weren't taught how to do that, you know.
Girl, am I being lost
Right. They just walking around looking for
in a
looking,
fog?
baby. I mean, I think that the best thing that I could have ever done for myself was be by myself, was to be single. Because I would go from relationship to relationship because my value was tied up into what I could do for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
For me, if I could change his life, if I can create businesses or move him into another tax bracket, if I can expose him to this, if I can do this, he'll see my value, he'll see my worth, he'll
That's nice.
appreciate me. But they never do. They never
That's
do. They never
because
do.
Cause you
Because
didn't
you're
build
asking
them in.
them to do
it's the
something.
very
You're
thing they
asking
say
them to
they want.
Mm-hmm.
you're asking them to do something that you don't do. You're asking them to value you and you don't value you. You're asking
Right.
them to respect you and you don't respect you.
Because you
You
get
can't you
no.
can't ask for things that you're not giving. How can I ask this person to value me and to love me when I don't value me, when I don't love me? So the best thing I could have ever done was be single, was be by myself. Because when you're by yourself, you don't have any distractions to hide those insecurities. You gotta face them. You can't hide behind a relationship. You can't hide behind other people's problems. You have to deal
Mm-hmm.
with it. And self-love is being honest with self. People say, "Oh, you can't lie to yourself." You absolutely can lie
You
to yourself.
absolutely can. Oh,
You
yes, you can.
absolutely can. You can lie to
Every day
yourself
we
every
do it.
day.
We do it every day.
Right? You can lie to yourself. So it requires you to be honest with yourself on a level that is going to take a lot of courage, because you gotta look at stuff and deal with stuff that maybe you haven't dealt with since you was young, since you was little. And the longer you wait to realize that self-love is important, the more shadow work you got to do to exercise all that stuff that's put you in a position to where you don't value you. You
Yep.
got to go way back. And sometimes that takes time. Sometimes you can do it quickly and sometimes it takes time because sometimes it's a lot to unpack. But
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't show someone how to love me and what I need. The relationship that I'm in now, I was telling him about a problem I had. And
Mm-hmm.
instead of trying to fix that problem, he asked me a question no one had ever asked me before. He said, "Well, how does that make you feel?"
Hmm.
I didn't know how to answer it. Nobody had ever
Right.
cared enough to ask me how I felt. I didn't know
Damn.
what to do. I was like, "What do you mean? What you mean? I'm telling you what's going on." He was like, "Well, no, well, how does that make you feel?" And he was real about it. He was sincere about it. Like, how does that make you feel? And then we end up having this whole conversation that led to what was going on in my past that made me react this way to this situation. And I was able to get to the root cause and resolve it just from a simple question. Well, how does that make you feel? Because he
Hmm.
cared enough to want to help me get past it.
That's deep.
You know what I'm saying? But it's because he just so relaxed and laid back. For one, I've never met anybody like that. But um, two, he made me look at myself. He made me take accountability for my actions. He'll say stuff like, "I'm sorry that you went through that. What'd you learn?" "What you mean what I learned? You're supposed to tell me how messed up that guy was for doing this stuff to me." He's like, "Yeah, he was messed up, but you let him do it. You know why you let him do it?" You know what I'm saying? That type of stuff. Those kind of conversations that we have to have with ourselves. Those are the kind of conversations on your discovery, on your healing. Like Mimi
Yeah.
said, when you're healing, you got to be honest with yourself. You have to take, responsibility for your role in this thing.
That's right. Because self love is
Definitely.
accountability.
Mm-hmm.
It's knowing,
It
hey,
ain't
I
just
can,
going shopping. It
yeah,
ain't just going
and
shopping. It ain't just spa days. It ain't just, a day without the kids.
yeah,
It's inner reflection that you really have to learn yourself and fall in love with yourself even the parts that are not so likable. You fall in love with your complete self. You know,
That part.
yeah,
You
definitely.
accepting everybody else and all of their flaws is you learning how to do the same with yourself. And another thing when you was talking, what came to my mind, because even though we're talking about self love is also realizing that it is okay to have help, to seek help. Counseling is beautiful, okay?
It is
Because
beautiful.
they do, if you don't have someone that's close to you, like you, Sarita, that asked that question, how does that make you feel? Your counselor's gonna get to that. They're gonna definitely
Hmm.
ask that question, and it really does make you think. And then you just sit in there in yourself, and then you're like, well, you know what? First of all, I never thought about that. Second of all, this is stemming from some deeper shit, like way deeper than
Right.
just these past relationships that tore me down and took me down through there. This actually stems all the way from childhood. Like you
Hmm.
learn that you were hurt, even though you didn't ever realize it as a child. You realized as an adult. In hindsight, I was really fucked up, like and hurt as a child, and that actually pulled me into this now, to where I'm having to look in this mirror and be like, what's really going on with you, lady, and how can we fix it? But it's also knowing that you can reach out to others and have simple discussions like we're having now, because this is helping me. I don't know if it's helping y'all, but these
It's
conversations
definitely
are
helping.
helping me. Yeah. And so you have to realize that you don't have to do it alone just because it's self-love. Self-love is realizing also, because you didn't used to reach out to people because you would, for me, let me speak for me. I would be the one to always help heal everybody else, especially if y'all know me, kind of my thing, me thing too. We heal people. But and for the longest we could kind of was trying to figure out, well, why shit isn't working as it should in our life. Because we weren't taking the time to actually sit and heal ourselves, and in the meantime, in between time of helping healing others. And so that's something that I'm learning on this self-love journey. And it's not like you said, it can take a little time, but sometimes it's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing, just like you get up, take a shower, go to work. It's something you need to do. Is my counselor always asks me, well, what can you do for yourself today? And I'd be like, shit, I don't know. Because I got to do this. I got to do that. I was like, well, maybe I can write a poem today. He was like, okay, great. Start there then. So you have to, get into that, because then you sit down and write that poem, and then you'd be like, well, dang, that was actually relief. That was releasing. I needed that. And it's not going to always be rainbows and sunshine. There's going to be a lot of tears that you cry, but it's okay. It's you growing into yourself. It's growing pains. It's you releasing, and it's important in self love, I feel. Well, it's what I'm learning now in this journey of self love, that it is something that is definitely necessary. But sometimes out of the blue, I'll just end up in tears. Like, what the fuck is going on? And then if I sit down with myself and be like, okay, why am I crying? Then it shows up. Because, like you said, we be lying to ourselves. We do it all the time. And so it's like when you just stop the lies to yourself and just take hold of your life and move forward with your self love and your self care and your self reflection and just everything self, you start gaining a lot more. Because since I've been on the self love journey, even though it's been very short, it's like everything that it's like it also, I'm noticing it helps manifestations happen, because
Hmm.
everything that I wanted to do seems to be coming up now. And I think that's pretty dope with the self-love thing. I'm rambling. Y'all can cut in anytime.
No, 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 no. I mean, I think that you're absolutely right. I think that at some point, when you realize, when you start choosing yourself, that things turn around in your life. That
Hmm.
things turn around, because sometimes self love means removing people who are blocking your blessings out of your life. So you'll
Mm-hmm.
see that the more you love yourself, the more you value yourself, the more you're removing a lot of negative energy away from you, and the more you'll see that the things that you've been waiting for have been there for you. It's just it wasn't meant for you to share it with the people that were in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And normally people who don't have a whole lot of self-love have a whole lot of problems with letting people and things go. You
Yep.
know, they don't like to be alone. They don't like to be by themselves. And so because they don't have, that self-love going, they hold on to stuff that they should let go. So you're
Yep.
absolutely
That's
right
true too.
about manifestations. Things are coming because you remove certain things out of your life. It's not always people. It could be habits. It could be, a job. It could be, it could be anywhere, a place you live in. It could be anything that's the situation is not good for you. And until you resolve that, then you won't receive what you're supposed to receive. So I definitely agree with you. Definitely agree with you.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you guys so much. This has been a beautiful conversation. And I mean, really, I got so much information and insight from you ladies about self love. And it's just been really inspiring hearing both of you guys' journeys. So, I just really appreciate you allowing me to be on Lyric. But I do have my children to get to, my love. So I'm going to have to let you go.
Hey,
Okay.
it's been a wonderful night. We've had a great show. I think that we could go ahead and end it on that note if that's okay with
Yeah,
you, Lyric. I think
that's fine with
we've
me.
we've talked, and I think that anybody comes back and hear this recording, it should be a blessing to them because we did have some interesting points that was made tonight. And I
Mhm.
thank you, Lyric, for having me back again.
Yes.
Anytime, always. You ladies know you are always welcome here. There's now this is what we do. I don't know what we're doing next week, but we'll be here, same bad time, same bad channel. Thank you guys for joining us. I like Sarita said, I hope you do get a blessing from the words that we spoke tonight. I hope you go back and listen and take it all in and start practicing your self love, baby, because self love is the best love. But you guys have a most beautiful ending. And until next time, peace and love.
Peace and love. Bye.